Welcome to the headquarters of Repro Products, conveniently located just outside I-285 on Atlanta Road, with satellite offices across the Southeast and printing and support services offered nationwide. Established in 1979, Repro Products is distinguished by our commitment to staffing projects with our own personnel and lack of dependence on outsourcing. Our equipment offerings include office and production printers and technical and graphics wide format printers and plotters. As an Autodesk reseller and support center, we offer design software sales and services across the United States. We even train internationally. Our other services include in-house printing, 3D laser scanning, drone imagery, and more. As an Autodesk authorized reseller for over 25 years, we are specialized in AEC and product design and manufacturing applications, and are Autodesk specialized to meet the distinct needs of our commercial and government clients. We will consult with you in choosing the right design software to meet your needs, and our Autodesk authorized application engineers can assist you with implementing your solution. We provide training in our headquarters facility, or we can bring our mobile lab to your location, anywhere around the globe. Thank you for your interest in Repro Products. We invite you to visit our headquarters and our website at reproproducts.com to explore the many products and services we provide.
All right, so now we can get started. So yes, our presentation is going to be a PowerPoint presentation today, and then getting into the Autocad software and all of the new features, and then also the cloud-based content. When we talk about what's new in Autocad 2022, we have it broken down into three main sectors. 7 industry-specific tool sets, Autocad web and mobile apps, and then the actual enhancements to the software themselves. For the Cad Automation industry-specific software, we'll get into that first, then look at the cloud functionality for seamless connections, and then for continuous innovations, we'll look at all the Autocad software-specific updates. And with that, for the Cad Automation content, what we're talking about are the included specialized tool sets that come with Autocad when you purchase it. So when you are purchasing Autocad, you're not just getting the Autocad vanilla base product. You're also getting access to all of the other Autocad vertical products like Autocad Architecture, Autocad Mechanical, Autocad Electrical, MEP tool sets, and so on. And these are industry-specific based additional software that sits on top of the Autocad installation. And it gives you additional enhancements that are specific to that discipline. So for example, architectural tool set would have AEC-based, 3-dimensional walls, doors, windows, roofs, floor slabs, furniture, you name it. Okay. Mechanical tool sets are going to contain all of the content that a mechanical engineer would use. This is not Autocad MEP, even though you do get Autocad MEP as well. Electrical tool sets are specific for electrical engineers. And then these are the MEP tool sets for things like ductwork, piping, conduit, cable trays, and so on. Okay, so that's what we're talking about when we say the different industry-specific tool sets. The reason you get all of this is because it will help you with your productivity gain. And Autodesk has done studies and said that it gives you about a 63% overall increase when you're looking at it, all the tool sets across the board for all users. It helps by keeping the software intelligent, helping you make intelligent decisions, helps you with automating processes and tasks so you don't actually have to do a lot of the mundane things. For example, when you go to insert a door or a window inside a wall, you don't have to go through the process of manually cleaning up the opening, and it'll do it faster. Okay, and obviously to help you speed up your workflow processes to make things faster for you. And as you all know, since these are all products built by Autodesk, they are trusted applications, creating trusted DWG-based content. For the mechanical tool sets, when they did their research, they found that most of the gain was about a 55% increase. So that's pretty amazing. For the architectural tool sets, it jumped up to a 61% productivity gain. And if we take a look at, say, electrical tool set, those users said that they increased by 95%, which is pretty amazing. And so depending on, who you are, where you work, what type of work that you do, what discipline that you're working in, you may need to download and install and use those additional tool sets as well. You don't have to, but they are part of the package when you purchase the AutoCAD software. Now, moving into the second portion of seamless connections, what we're talking about is all of the cloud and communicative type of features and functionality to help you stay connected. So for example, you have AutoCAD on any device. Not only do you have the AutoCAD software that you download and install on your desktop or your laptop, but you also have AutoCAD on the web. So you'll go to web.autocad.com. You also have AutoCAD specific apps that you can download and install via iTunes for Apple. And then you also can cross-platform. So if you're using web.autocad.com, that applies to any computer or any type of digital interface that has a browser, HTML browser-based software. With the AutoCAD web-based software, it's going to give you some base functional content that allows you to work like you do in AutoCAD, but it won't be super robust. But it does give you some basic content like the ability to view your data, look at the property content of the data, look at all your layers and turn things on and off and whatnot, blocks, XREFs, and then the new trace command as well, which we'll take a look at. Doing it this way, web.autocad.com, gives you the ability to not have to worry about installing the AutoCAD software on every device. There is an AutoCAD mobile app as well. Like I said, you can download it for your iPad or your iPhone. And then you get full access to the same type of functionality that the web.autocad.com interface gives you. Plus, it gives you the ability to access your data cloud-wise for your cloud locations like Autodesk Drive, your Autodesk Docs, and some of the older portals as well. In regards to the cloud storage connectivity, they've really started to push and enhance that functionality. They did introduce a little bit in AutoCAD 2021, but for AutoCAD 2022, they really have pushed it. And so now you have the ability to link and access all of your data if they're stored in Box, Dropbox, Microsoft OneDrive, Google Drive, a lot of other cloud-based applications from directly within the web, excuse me, the web.autocad.com site, okay? And then because they set all of this up, and I'll show you this when we get into the interface, it just makes it easier for you to get access to all of your content no matter where you're storing it. Now, you can store all of your data in multiple locations. There's nothing wrong with that, but it just means you have to manage your content a little bit more carefully. Okay, I tend to try to have all of my CAD-based content stored in one location, so it just makes it easier for me to work that way. But it doesn't mean that you're stuck to work with just one cloud location. And then because you have all of the cloud connectivity functionality, it gives you the ability to be mobile. It gives you the ability to be able to collaborate with all of your stakeholders, your coworkers, your engineers, your designers, your client, your consultants, seamlessly through the cloud. You'll always have the connectivity. So as long as you have your account, you can just get on to web.autocad.com and have access to that data. And then it becomes, at the end of the day, a very essential tool for you to use to do the work that you need to do. And it becomes an extension, another set of quality tools to use, and no different than when you were back in the day doing hand drafting and you had all of your lead holders, you had your markers, you had your pastels, everything laid out in front of you, and you just picked up the tool that you needed. This becomes an extension of that. And then lastly, looking at the continued innovations, the enhancements to the Autocad software itself, we have a new command now called trace. And the trace command allows you to take, if you will, a sheet of bumwad back in the day, and you placed it over your drawing, and then you traced over it to try to come up with another design idea for, say, a classroom or your patient room or whatever. And then you ripped another sheet of bumwad, placed it on top, and did some more. So that's kind of like a overlay on top of an overlay and on top of an overlay. And so this command allows you to do that kind of functionality within your AutoCAD file. You would initiate it within your web.autocad.com interface for your file. And then when you're in the AutoCAD software, you can see the trace functionality. Okay, and so we'll see that when we get into the software. They have enhanced the sharing functionality. It was introduced in 2021. So for 2021 AutoCAD, they allowed you to share your drawings and share your views. Now they've enhanced that Collaborate tab so you can have access to sharing your drawing, sharing your views, even pushing to Autodesk Docs now, which allows you to take any AutoCAD file you have and automatically upload it to your Autodesk Docs location as a PDF file. So you're actually automating the process of creating a PDF file. You don't actually have to have PDF creation software on your computer. And so, for example, on my laptop that I'm presenting on, I do not have Adobe Acrobat, I do not have Bluebeam Review, I do not have any kind of PDF software functionality whatsoever. I know Microsoft Edge, if you try to open up a PDF file on your computer, Microsoft Edge will kick in and allow you to see the content, but that's about it. So having this ability within the AutoCAD software to create PDF files directly now, pushed straight to your Autodesk Docs, makes it a lot faster. Okay. They have another new command called count. And count is very interesting because when you use the command, it's literally will count all the blocks that you have in your drawing the minute you initialize the command. And by doing so, you can get a good handle on the data that you have. You can even put all of that data into a table, and you can kind of start to analyze what are all your blocks and which ones are broken and things like that. And like I said earlier, we have the new function of push to Autodesk Docs. It allows you to take an AutoCAD file and basically print it to PDF and then take the PDF file and upload it directly to your Autodesk Docs as a single command. You don't actually have to do 2 steps, and you actually don't have to have PDF writing software, creation software on your computer. And then for 2022 AutoCAD, they now have it set up so you can float your AutoCAD files as floating windows. So prior, excuse me, you can float your tool palettes and your properties palette, your blocks palette, all of these different palettes. But in 2022, you can now float the windows, the actual CAD files, if you have more than one CAD file open, and float them as a window on another monitor or the same monitor, and it helps you to work with multiple files at the same time. Which I very rarely do, by the way. I only work with 1 or 2 drawings simultaneously. But to have this functionality is great because if you're running, say, a dual monitor or a triple monitor setup, it makes life a lot easier for you to work. Other general enhancements for AutoCAD, they have customized the installation to make it much faster and easier. And this is not just AutoCAD, this is all the Autodesk 22 products. And you'll notice too, that when you go to install the products, it won't fully install. It'll still install, but when you get close to being finished, it will tell you right away that you can start using the software right away without it finishing the install. And the speed at which it now installs has improved. It used to be 45 minutes to an hour on average, and then it cut down to about 30. And now it's at about 15, and I've seen it as fast as 10 minutes to install. And it's just a matter of what you're choosing to install. and which Autodesk application, but having that ability to install the software faster, it helps. They have improved the graphics display to make things look cleaner and sharper, have more bit of contrast, have easier visibility of the line work, and even the icons have been enhanced just a hair to help it look cleaner and sharper, especially when you're sitting there working for 7, 8, 9 hours straight. Your eyes will get strained. And then more importantly, they have completely redesigned the Start tab. So the AutoCAD homepage is what I call it, has been completely changed, and I'll show you 2021 versus 2022. And then obviously AutoCAD LT hasn't been left off, okay? So a lot of the features that we just talked about are going to be in AutoCAD LT 2022 as well. As you all know, make sure when you purchase the software, you have your subscription benefits, so you'll have technical support. And depending on what type of package you can get 24/7. You can get 5-day support. You can get phone support. You can get remote control assistance. You can get email support, chat support, you name it. Obviously, you're going to be able to stay up to date with the software through the Autodesk Desktop app to download and install all the updates, the patches, the enhancements, things like that. And then obviously, you don't have to buy it for a whole year. You can buy it for a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 3 years, whatever you choose. And then lastly, for those who are the CAD manager, BIM managers, contract managers of the Autodesk account for their company, you have all of your admin tools, so you can get onto manage.autodesk.com and be able to access all of the software, all of the seats, the usage, the reporting, you name it. A lot of the stuff that I talked about before we even jump into the software and the functionality, I've already created YouTube videos for. So you can always head over to my YouTube channel or head over to Repro Products YouTube channel, and you'll see lots of videos on AutoCAD, Revit, 3ds Max, Navisworks. There's tons of it out there, and specifically to Autodesk accounts as well. Installation, technical support, you name it. All right. And then obviously, AutoCAD's been around for a while. And so I don't know very many companies that don't use AutoCAD. So we know that it's a quality product that's been around for a very long time. It's trusted by everybody that's using it. And Autodesk is a great company that backs up their content, and they're constantly improving it. Okay. We at Repro Products are your resellers. So we want to make sure that you purchase it properly, you use it properly, you learn how to use it well, and you're constantly improving. And that's the key. So with that, we're going to go out of the PowerPoint presentation, and we're going to jump into the web interfaced aspect of it. Okay, so let me move some stuff around just for a second. All right, and close this. All right, so here, what you're seeing is my Chrome interface, and I've gone ahead straight into web.autocad.com, and I'm actually have a file that's open right now, and it's a mechanical ceiling plan view. Okay, so if I just drill back to the actual main location of the web.autocad.com home interface, you're going to see it. This is a new type of interface. On the left-hand side, you're going to get access to all of the cloud-based storage locations and providers that you have set up. So what you do is you click this big fat button. It doesn't matter which icon you touch. But what happens is it opens up a panel that says Add Storage Provider. And you go through and you click each one that you want so that you can set up your Autodesk account to be able to be granted access to your Box account, to your Dropbox account, and so on. Once that's done, you then have that functionality over here on the left-hand side. So for Autodesk Docs, I can go to any projects that I have set up. So I can go to a 2021 project, I can go to a 2022 project, I can go to any folder or subfolder, and I can just drill into whatever file that I'm looking for. So for example, again, if I go and I look and I pick this particular file, it will open up that file in the web portal-based web.autocad.com. And in here, you can do all of the basic stuff you would do in AutoCAD, like look at property information, look at layers, look at any blocks that you have, look at any XREFs you have, and then the new trace command. And then down here in the lower left quadrant, you have basic drawing functionality tools like rectangle, circle, arcs, and so on. You have annotation capabilities like dimensioning, measuring, revision clouds, text, and leaders. The Modify tab gives you basic modification commands like move, copy, rotate, array, mirror, chamfer, fillet, and so on. And then going back here on the left-hand side, that was accessing Autodesk Docs. I can also access the main AutoCAD web and mobile site, which is the old Autodesk Drive folder location. So you can get into here, you can get to different CAD files and any folder, subfolder that you set up as well too. And so if I go to Box, it'll take me to my Box account. It'll take me to any of the files that I have in there. So it's a great way for you to get access to all of your cloud content. Now, jumping back to the Autodesk Docs location and looking at say a CAD file, we can go into that and look at the new trace command since it's kind of neat. So let's go ahead and open up that file. And so, like I said earlier, this is a ceiling plan of a building. A little hard to see because it's a black background. But over here on the left-hand side, I have the trace function. And I already have 3 traces that I created earlier back on April 15. So if I touch trace 1, this is what you get to see. If I do trace 2, this is what you see. Trace 3, this is what you see. So imagine the trace being a sheet of bump that I placed on top of the view. And then I go in, I use my drawing tools to draw whatever I need. And when I finish, I hit the green check mark and it creates that trace. And so it's kind of like, just sketching an idea or a new revised design for whatever the function is going to be. It will tell you when you have the actual trace object selected, and what you're seeing here, it'll show you the properties of the trace as well, the name, what space you're in, who created it, when was it created, when was it last saved, and last saved by whom. Okay, so if I want to create a new trace, I would just click New Trace, and it will start giving you this blue border that allows you to draw whatever you need. So let's say, for example, I put in a basic rectangle over here, and then I hit Enter or Spacebar to repeat the command, and I do something like this. Maybe I'm doing some kind of soffit design. When I'm done, I hit the green check mark, and I'm done. I created that trace. Okay, it takes a second. It's called trace number 4. See, I could right-click if I want to and rename it whatever I need. I can close it by hitting the X or the check mark over here. And so that's what all the traces are for. Now, because I made changes to this file, I can hit save. And since the trace command is open, I cannot hit save. So I'm going to hit this little check mark to finish the command. Then I can save. Okay. And so now that that's finished, it takes a second to save. Now that that's finished, I'm going to go back to my Autodesk Docs and not have the file open. I can head over to AutoCAD 2022, and this is the new Start page, Start tab of AutoCAD 2022. Now, I'm going to show you 2021, the Start page, just so you get an idea. This is what it looked like in 2021. So you have 3 bars of data. You have a create, you have a learn, and it slides. But in 2022, this is completely different. What you're seeing is on the upper left quadrant of the main window, the ability to go from one account to a different account and from one project within the account to a different project in that account. So for example, I can go to 2021's project for that hub, which is our company hub. I can go to 22's project, go to its folder and subfolders. These folders and subfolders I'll show you as well through the Chrome interface in a second. But from here, I can actually drill to any folder or subfolder, drill deeper if I need to. And what happens is that the AutoCAD interface is going to refresh all of the data that it finds in that cloud location and push down and show you that data here. See? And then you have on the left-hand side navigation functionality to be able to say click open and just open up a file in general. You have the ability to click new to start a new drawing. You can click recent to get access to recent files that you have. And so for example, here's that cloud file. I know it's a cloud file because there's a symbol of a cloud right there. Whereas this one is a symbol of a computer, meaning it's a local file. So if I try to open up this file, it's going to try to retrieve the most updated version of it from the cloud. And you'll see it here. Now, since I'm in the software, I have to give it a second to finish loading. I'm going to head over to the View tab of the ribbon. And I have a lot of palettes already open, tool palettes, properties, blocks, count. But for the tracing function and all the other content, that's under the Collaborate tab. So I have trace palettes turned on, and it is for me right here. Okay. And so for this particular file, I just have the 3. I don't have that 4th one that I just created because this is a duplicate file in a different location. But in any event, I can always just go into any of the traces that I've created earlier, and I can touch it and I can see it. See? So it gives you that capability. I'm going to go ahead and anchor that to the left for now. Let's take a look now at, say, shared views. Since I have that command turned on, I have it docked over here on my right-hand side. I'm going to pull it out, and you can see that there's some files I already have shared. So let's say I want to share a new file. I can click New Shared View, and then I can specify the name, the current view only, or all the model views and layouts. I'll just say just the current view for now. I'll hit Share. And then it's going to proceed in the background and process that data. And you'll know down here, there's a little cube icon. It's hard to see, but it says it's publishing. See that? And by the way, the trace command is also visible as an icon down here too. Now, when it's finished, it'll say you can view it in the browser. So when you click View in Browser, it'll open up viewer.autodesk.com, and it will open up the file and it will show you the shared view. And it shows you all the views for that particular file, all the layers, all the property data, and any settings as well. So if I pick a particular object, if I can, then it will give me that property data. Like for example, I pick this and it says supply diffuser rectangular. I can resize this if I need to. I can go to the layers and I can turn on or off the visibility of certain content. For example, the suspended ceiling, the ceiling grid, see? So it gives you a little bit of functionality that way. If we look at, let's go back to the main, here's that web.autocad.com that we were talking about. So not only can you work in the web.autocad.com interface to open and work with files, you can actually go to your Autodesk Collaboration Cloud portal. So you would go to acc.autodesk.com. You will need to log into your Autodesk account. Okay. And oh, by the way, anytime you do a share or any kind of collaborative type of command, Autodesk will send you an email that tells you if the file is ready, see? Just so you know. Now, heading back to acc.autodesk.com, this will take you to your Autodesk Construction Cloud portal, where you have all of your projects and all of the folders and subfolders that you set up earlier. So for example, heading over to that 2022 project, you'll be able to get into the cloud portal and all of the Autodesk Docs functionality of your project files, all your folders and subfolders, and all of the CAD files. See? Now, if I were to go and click this DWG file that's in this portal under the acc.autodesk.com, you're actually opening up the file in a viewer. within this portal. And so you can actually mark up and do content here as well. In addition to comparing differences, as well as other functions like downloading the file, sharing the file, printing the file. So we talk about all this cloud capability and functionality. All of this is available now. It's very easy to work with, easy to get access to. If I hit this X to get out of the file, I'm back into the AEC portal, the ACC portal, and I can get to any file or any folder and any subfolder as well. I'm going to go ahead and close the AutoCAD 2021 since I don't need it anymore. And we'll go back to the AutoCAD 2022. Now, I'm going to close the shared views. There is also the push to Autodesk Docs that I talked about earlier. And so since my command is already there, it's turned on. I have it docked on the right-hand side. And I'm going to expand that and move it over here so you can see. So if I want to say share a particular sheet or view, I would open up the file. So I'll just randomly pick a file like this one and hit open. And I'm going to expand this so it stays open. It's going to find all of the layout tabs for the file. And it's going to automatically say, this is what I found. And I'm going to, if you initiate the command, I'm going to make a PDF file. Okay, so if I just leave everything checked and I hit select folder, oops, I'm still in the trace command. Let me close the trace command. All right, so let's say select folder, and I tell the software that I want to take these layout tabs and push them to Autodesk Docs. It will say, well, where you want to put it. Now, if you have this upper portion here, clicking the arrow will give you access to all of your projects in all of your hubs. Be careful, because in this interface, it does not have a filtering tool that says only look at this company's hub or this company's project. It's just going to list everything. So what you're seeing here is a list of all the projects in all of the hubs that I have access to. So I have access to 3 hubs for Repro and 2 projects, multiple projects for another hub for a client. So I have to be very careful. So I'll just go say to this particular hub and this particular project, and then I can tell it to go to any subfolder and place those PDF files in that location. This interface will take a second to drill to that hub, drill to that project, get into the project main folder, and then it will list all of that data, and then you can tell it which subfolder to go to next. So let's give it a second. All right, so now that it found that project within that hub, these are all the subfolders that I have access to. And so I'm going to put it under miscellaneous data. And then I'm going to click upload sheets. So it's going to process this in the background. Give it time. In the lower right corner of your AutoCAD interface shows you a little printer of a picture, an icon of a printer, and it will physically move like it's actually doing stuff. And then it will tell you, just like you're printing or plotting, what the errors are, if there are any. And if you're good and there are no errors, it's done. When it's done, it'll say X number of files that are available. And you can go to Autodesk Docs. So I'll click Autodesk Docs, and it will take me to that tab, and it will take me to that specific folder and subfolder. And so you can see all the PDF files that are here, okay? And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and click this one particular PDF file. And there's the PDF file that it created. It's great because it's not only taking the CAD file, turned it into a PDF file, it also uploaded it to your Docs location, and you can actually mark up that data as well right here and share that data as well. So it's really neat that you have that functionality, okay? Let's go back to the AutoCAD environment, and let's make sure I covered what I needed to get covered. So I'm going to go ahead and anchor this to the right. And let me double check to make sure that I didn't miss any of the content. Sharing we talked about. So I'm going to click this share drawing command right here. And what it does is it opens up this window interface that says share a link to this drawing. You can specify the link to be just for viewing purposes or editing and saving a copy. Okay, I'm going to say view only. I'm going to say copy link. It gets copied to Windows memory, and then all you have to do is go to your email and then email whomever you want to. So I'm going to email myself, and I'm going to say test shared file, and then Control V, and then hit send. So it's really simple for you to just automatically share it. If you click edit and save a copy and hit copy link, that gives you the same kind of functionality, but it gives the recipient the ability to edit that file and save the file as a copy. Okay. Now that's the share drawing command right there. The shared views command allows you to share specific views, like we talked about earlier. Here's that one that it just did. You can also click refresh, and it will refresh all of that data and push that data. If you want to create a new shared view, you can click new shared view, specify the name, the view you want, hit share, and it will do it. Okay. Let me make sure. So I covered the sharing. Oh, let's do the count because I didn't get a chance to do count yet. So in the view tab of the ribbon, in the palettes panel, there is a command called count, and I have mine turned on, and I have it docked over here on the right. So let me move it over here and make sure this is expanded so you can see. And this command, what it's doing is it's going to look at all of your blocks and it's going to count all the data immediately. See? And you can even do a search. So for example, if I start typing in things like bend, it's going to automatically filter and find everything with the word bend in it. More so, with this tool, this command, I can pick any one of them. And then I can hit this little arrow up here and it will cycle through to find that geometry. Okay. And the ones that have this exclamation point is to let you know there's something wrong with that block. So you can zoom into that and find out maybe it was exploded, right? So it's a great tool for you to see and kind of hunt things down. If you need to, you can also click this little icon right here to take the geometry data that you want. Say, for example, I'll just pick a few of these. And I'll say insert and put it into an actual table. Now you'll have to scale the table when you're said and done, but I'll zoom in over here and I'll place it. And then I'll just make it bigger. So you can see if I do the scale command on it to make it larger, then it'll be a little easier. So the command doesn't react initially to annotative functionality, but it's a great tool to help you extract the metadata, attribute information of the content and place it into a basic table for you. Okay. They do have arrows that allow you to go from one object to the next object, depending on what you have highlighted and selected. You have inserting a count field as well. And so what it does is it puts in a field object and it tells you the count number for that entity that you have selected. So it's me. We talked about push to Autodesk Docs, floating windows. Okay. So like I said earlier, in 2021 AutoCAD and older versions of AutoCAD, you can take all of these tool palettes and functions that you have and move them to another monitor. Okay. But in AutoCAD 2022, you can now pull out the drawing and float it like a window like this, see? And I can move it to another monitor on my right or on my left, or leave it floating, or seat it right back, okay? I'm used to having the File tabs command turned on, which is right here under the View tab of the ribbon interface panel, so I can see all of the files this way. So I usually just jump from one file to another this way. And I can actually, go from one model space of one drawing to one paper space of another and so on. Makes it easier for me. But some people like to actually float the file. So they'll left click and pull it out. And now that it's floating, you can also resize it too, like so. So it's kind of a neat feature to have if you have to work with multiple files at the same time. I usually try not to because I get real confused easily. Let me make sure I cover everything. We talked about the general enhancements. So the redesigned Start tab was shown. So let me go back to that. And so again, you have your main area here that shows you your recent files, your Autodesk Docs files for whatever particular hub or project that you're in. So let's say right now I'm in my Repro Products hub. If I have access to other hubs, I can click Change Account and get access to other companies' hubs and other people's companies' projects too. See? So you have to be very careful about this. You don't want to be in the wrong hub and the wrong project, especially if they all have similar names. And that's very common. You might jump into a company's hub and they may have a project that they call Publix Supermarket. And in there, they have a whole bunch of folders for each project that they do, and they'll all be based upon job number. So you can get very confused very quickly. So just be a little careful about that. You can sort and display the data as well by name, state, and so on. You can refresh the information too. You can go to learning. And in the learning section, they have a whole bunch of little squares that allows you to read and learn more about what AutoCAD can and cannot do and different functionality. You can hit more information, for example, and it will take you to the help database to that particular function. And they have these little arrows that allow you to keep going left and right for more knowledge. They have videos as well. You have online resources for Hitchhiker's Guide to AutoCAD. You have free learning sources on LinkedIn Learning through lynda.com, CAD Learning. On the lower left-hand side, you have what's new, online help, the AutoCAD Community Forum, the Autodesk Customer Support, the Autocad Mobile App, and the Autocad Web App. Okay, now I do not have an iPad with me, so I cannot show you the Autocad Mobile App from the iPad, and I don't have a way to push that iPad display to my laptop presentation. So this one is going to be something where if you have an Apple iPad, just go to your App Store, look for Autocad Mobile App, download and install it. When you run it, you'll have to log into your Autodesk account, and then you'll gain access to that mobile app for AutoCAD. It has a little bit more functionality than the web.autocad.com in regards to working with a file, making modifications, drawing content, things like that. But the AutoCAD mobile app for iPad looks different, and you still have access to all of your cloud locations as well as your local iPad storage too. Let's see what else. Let me go back to AutoCAD and make sure I cover everything. Okay, let's close this and close this. Okay, and so from the standpoint of doing a presentation and showing you all these great new features and functions is one thing. Getting audience participation is another. So what I'd like to do is open up the floor now to anybody in the audience who might have any questions regarding what they've seen today with AutoCAD 2022, web.autocad.com, acc.autodesk.com, and so on. So if you have questions, just let me know. You can either verbally ask or put it in the chat window, and then I will answer all the questions that come in. And for those who came in late, because I saw some people jump in a little later, this webinar is being recorded. So if you missed any part of it, you can just shoot me an email and I'll send you the link first thing in the morning. I usually like to give the system time to process the recording and get it posted onto the site. But if you need that, you can just email me right here, and then you'll be able to see, I'll be able to send you the link for the video. Okay. So see if anybody have any questions on what they've learned today or seen today. Anybody have comments as whether they like or don't like any of the new features or functionality, or questions like, I wish AutoCAD would do this, and then maybe it does and you weren't aware of it, or maybe it doesn't and we need to address it. That's what this opportunity is for. This video is normally not posted on my YouTube channel. This video is a video that's recorded through the Repro Products WebEx system. And so I can send you the link to that. You'll click the link, it takes you to Repro Products WebEx portal, and then you'll be able to watch the video. I can download it, and it'll be an MP4 video file, but technically I would not be able to put it on my YouTube channel because I did not create that content. Even though I'm presenting it and showing it to you, technically it's not my content. It is considered Repro Products content. And even though I work for Repro Products, from a YouTube legality standpoint, it would be classified as Repro Products content. So my email address is right here. Okay, it's real easy, dta@reproproducts.com. You know, and the other thing too is if you guys really want me to have this kind of video on my YouTube channel, I just have to get permission to post it up there. And if I can get permission and they allow it, then I will. But usually this YouTube video stuff that I push up, I kind of like to do some post-processing, you know, in it to make it look a little nicer. This is just a raw video recording. There's no audio enhancements. There's no audio corrections. There's no video additional content like a home video page and things like that. Well, as you guys can see, the new enhancements to AutoCAD 2022, there are not a lot of new commands and things like that like it used to be in the old days, but it's more about cloud integration and cloud functionality and movement of data from one device to another device and being able to communicate with people and share data and things like that. So that's what they really have enhanced and worked on for AutoCAD 2022. And then real quick, because I mean, we have time, but one of the things that is a huge piece of information that you should know is this Autodesk site called acc.autodesk.com. Okay, this is your main hub for all of your cloud-based content. So if you just go to acc.autodesk.com, it will default you to your projects folder. And this is where you go within your company hub to create all of your projects and all of the folders and subfolders so you can upload all of your data and manage that data. So if I'm here and I go into a particular project within a hub, I have access to all of those files. See, the project files that you see here is the same thing as the project files here under Autodesk Docs. See, project files. And so you can go to this portal, create all your folders and subfolders, and then start uploading data. So like, for example, here, I put in, you know, a folder for photos and I have the American flag, see? And so this is a great portal for you to start putting your content up there in the cloud and keep it organized this way. You can create a folder, create a subfolder, move it, upload data to it, look at the attribute content, and then more importantly, you can set up permissions on the file level, folder level, subfolder level, user level, and company level too. Okay, so it gives you a lot of security to make sure that you have your data up there properly. And then that's the main files. And then there is a lot of other cloud functionality within this portal too. It depends on what cloud services you've purchased for your company. Will give you access to things like reviews, transmittals, issues, reports, all of the members that you've set up, all the settings for the hub and the project, and so on. So this is completely different from the AutoCAD presentation today, but it is in an essence linked to the AutoCAD 2022 What's New presentation because you're tying into the system. I do have a presentation that I will be doing in a couple of weeks on this ACC portal. Okay, so if you want to dig deep into all of this stuff, get on our Repro Products website, and under calendars, you can look at all of the events that are going on, and there'll be one in there for the ACC Collaboration Pro webinar. That is the one where I get into all of this content. Okay, I just wanted to touch base with you because we're looking at AutoCAD on the web, we're looking at AutoCAD software, and you're now starting to see all of that integration, see Autodesk Docs. So you've got to know what this is in the back end before you can start using it and being able to set it up. Because if you don't know that and you don't even set it up, when you go to that Autodesk Docs, you won't have any projects. You'll have to say click connect projects, and then you'll have to tell it which hub and which project to be associated with. You see? Let's see, any other questions? Oh, good. Well, it looks like we made it just on time with just a few minutes to spare. So I do want to say thank you very much for those of you who are attending. I hope you got what you want out of it. My contact information is here. That's my email address. And then that's my mobile if you have to get in touch with me verbally. But we're always here. Repro Products is always here to help you, to support you, make sure you're purchasing what you need properly for the duration and what you needed to use it for. We're there to help you with your training, your tech support, all of that. Okay. Um, and so what I'll do now is I will stay online. I'll stop the recording and I'll stay online if anybody has any last minute questions or comments, but you're all free to go. And I appreciate it. Thank you for visiting Repro Products and watching our video. And don't forget, we are specialized in sales, training, and consultation for Autodesk software. We have multiple certified instructors and offer a ton of value. We also have a 3D laser scanning services division, and we can take care of multiple services, for example, field laser and point cloud processing, as well as others. We have printing services. We have wide format equipment sales and service and supplies. We have Xerox office and production equipment sales and services. And we also have drone aerial imaging as well. So if you'd like to find out more information about Repro products and all the different services that are available, please visit our website or send us an email via marketing@reproproducts.com. Thank you very much for watching.